23. Let's continue with the evening drive. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, that I should be talking to someone from FDI about the sign for her campaign, and also be talking to someone from HWPL so far as this initiative is concerned. Now, allow me to welcome this evening Sheikh Yussuf Ayami, who is from a Family Development Initiative. Yussuf, welcome to the Drive Time.
Thank you very much, Joseph. It's a pleasure to interact with your audience, and I'm looking forward to a good time with you and your audience. Thank you very much for the warm welcome since I've been here.
Fantastic. And I also have Eustace Bay, quite an interesting last name, Eustace. And Eustace is a programs coordinator, Department of Religion, HWPL Global 8 branch. Eustace, welcome to the evening show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm very grateful here at Znbc Radio. It's an honor to share our recent initiatives.
Great. Sheikh, let's start with you. Perhaps someone would like to appreciate what the Family Development Initiative is all about before we can go into the nitty-gritties of our discussion this evening.
So Family Development Initiative is a family-oriented development organization that is inspired by Islamic teachings. We work, to ensure that families are dignified, self-skilled, self-sufficient, and prosperous. I mean, that's our vision. And in order for us to achieve that vision, we work with communities across 33 districts in 6 provinces to identify programs that would make them, live or fulfill that vision. And so our program is anchored around 4 thematic areas. We work in the area of integrated health. So we're talking about HIV, SRH, malaria, immunizations. This is Child, Health Week, and so we're trying to promote, children to get immunized. But also we work in the area of governance and social accountability, promoting children's rights, but also civic education. And then we work in the area of climate change resilience, and then rural enterprise development. And so this is our work, and what we're discussing here, what we're going to be discussing here this evening, falls our integrated health pillar, where we talk about sexual reproductive health and the sexual well-being of adolescents and our youth.
Wonderful. Quickly, Eustace, remind the people of your role at HWPL.
Okay, so as Mr. Joseph had kindly mentioned, I am the program coordinator of the Department of Religion. So HWPL is an international peace NGO working for peace with community leaders, faith representatives, and youth to promote a culture of peace. And within the programs and initiatives of HWPL, we have the program of Alliance of Religions, where we work on the interfaith harmony with the interfaith dialogue within the various religions and even various denominations. And that is the part I am working with.
Fantastic. Now, Sheikh, let's talk about the sign for her campaign that you're actually, maybe perhaps before we even get to that, you attended the summit. Perhaps you'd like to share the insights. What was your takeaway from that very, very big summit by HWPL?
We recently, yourself and I and some other colleagues from Zambia were privileged to attend the 11th, HWPL summit in Korea, where, we interacted with, faith leaders and other leaders from across the globe. It was a wonderful experience, just bringing faith leaders, civic leaders, traditional leaders, decision makers in one room to talk about peace, to talk about development, to talk about harmony, to talk about how, we as, humans, human beings can actually live as one with only one objective, and that objective is to promote development that is anchored in peace, stability, and security. So it was a nice experience, and that Zambia is going to be going through an election next year, and sometimes the elections are marred with violence. I think it was an inspiration to try and replicate, the things that were discussed at, the summit, and make them achievable here at home.
Fantastic. Now, Eustace, last week the Clean Up Crime Down campaign took place in Chibolia. You may want to share with us how the experience was, as well as which one could be your next place that you intend to clean insofar as this exercise is concerned.
Okay, so it was a very inspiring experience. So the campaign titled Clean Up, Crime Down, Ubuntu for Chiboya, it has actually brought together youths and even the local residents and the religious leaders to actually clean the public spaces in the Chiboya area. And what made it special was not just cleaning the streets, but the spirit behind it was Ubuntu, meaning I am because we are. So everyone came together with one purpose: to restore dignity and safety of our neighborhood. And they also learned about the theory regarding the broken windows theory and the importance of the maintaining peaceful and safe communities. So through this campaign, we were able to see how simple actions can actually reduce crime, starting with the even smallest actions like cleaning the streets, even strengthening the community bonds, and build a shared sense of responsibility as well. For the more upcoming activities for November, it will be shared soon on the official HWPL Zambia Facebook page.
Great. Now let's come to the main discussion of today. We know that HWPL, in partnership with different stakeholders, is actually implementing the Sign for Her campaign, where sanitary towels, pads are given to vulnerable girls in schools to help them maintain that dignity, confidence to stay in school. Perhaps, Eustace, could you explain what this Sign for Her campaign is all about?
Okay, so the Sign for Her campaign is part of HWPL's Global Solidarity Initiative, based on the Declaration of Peace and Cessation of War, or DPCW in short. So it focuses on promoting peace, human rights, and especially gender equality through real and practical actions. And many girls and women in Zambia and other countries, they still face challenges of accessing to the sanitary products. So this campaign actually helps them to live with dignity, stay in school, and participate fully in community life. And it's not just about a local movement. Sign for Her is a global campaign that connects women and youth across Korea, Zambia, Malawi, and the Netherlands and Belgium under one shared vision of peace and empowerment. And there are three main goals of the campaign. One is to provide sustainable menstrual products, especially reusable pads, to girls and women in need. Second is to empower them through education, helping girls learn to manage their menstrual health with confidence. This also supports Zambia's Ministry of Education's Keeping Girls in School campaign by reducing absenteeism. And lastly, it is to raise the legal awareness, promoting understanding of the Zambia's Children's Code Act and helping communities protect the rights of the children and young women.
Sheikh, we heard that FDI has been actively donating reusable sanitary pads in Kalumbila and Solwezi districts. How did this initiative begin?
Yeah, so this initiative began, just like Eustace has mentioned, after the realization from, our programming team, particularly, the team that works under integrated health and sexual reproductive health, because we have a project that we are running with UNESCO, which is, ending early and unintended pregnancies. There we talk about, sexual reproductive health, but also we've got another project also with Action Aid, where also, we deal with the issues of sexual reproductive health. So particularly under the UNESCO project, as we were working with young people and addressing issues of their sexual health, we came to understand actually that part of the challenges and problems that our young girls, face is a missed opportunity as a result of not going to school because of, their menstrual imperatives or situation. Actually, your audience might want to note that, young girls miss, from between 5 to 7 days of schooling, every month because of menstrual hygiene. And so in total, they lose out about a month or two where they do not attend school in a year. Now, this is not just, being absent from school, but it's lost opportunity. You can imagine if somebody, did not go to school for a week, how much they would lose out. Now, think of somebody, losing out of school for a month or two because of their menstrual situation. Now, when we try to interrogate how we can address that, situation or the cause for that, we realize that many of our girls in the rural areas, even in, urban areas, are not able to afford sanitary pads. And because they can't afford to have sanitary pads, that's how come, when they are facing their monthly situation, they would rather just stay at home because it's easy to deal with a situation like that. Now, we came up with the issue or the project of providing, sanitary pads because, we felt, okay, if they cannot afford to buy, if we are able to donate sanitary pads, then, that would enable them to go to school during the time that, they're having their periods. But then we also came to realize that buying pads and giving them might not be sustainable. And so we started engaging, these young girls to make their own sanitary pads, so, reusable sanitary pads. And so these are pads that are made, they can be reused, which means that you are saving the young girls from actually buying sanitary pads because they have these reusable sanitary pads. And that project, is being implemented currently in Solwezi and Kalumbira, as you have mentioned. Now, the Sign for Her campaign, has come on board to embrace that project because, like Eustace has mentioned, that is something they felt they needed to do, within the ambit of promoting, equality and ensuring that they address issues, of gender justice. And so what we've been doing is to promote the campaign, ask people to sign up for this campaign and, use the signing up to be able to procure materials that can make more sanitary pads that can be distributed not only in Kalumbira and Solwezi, but hopefully extend to the other districts where we are operating.
Remember that you can call us on 0770-347-221 for your contribution. 0770-347-221 gets you talking to us. We are talking about the initiative, the Sign for Her campaign, that is aimed at promoting education for the girl child by providing them with sanitary towels. And of course, I have in the studio Eustace Bay, who's from the HWPL Global Aid Branch, and he is a programs coordinator, Department of Religion. And I also have Sheikh Yussuf Ayami, who is a team leader at Family Development Initiative FDI. So feel free to come through on the number 0770-347-221, 0770-347-221. Now, how did the partnership with HWPL start in implementing the Sign for Her campaign? Perhaps, Eustace, you might want to respond to this.
Okay, so at the beginning of the stage, we had started to come up with a project Sign for Her campaign in Korea. And later on, while we are in Zambia, we have met the team leader of the FDI, Sheikh Yussuf Ayami, and we have shared our initiatives and contributions, as well as our vision in the meeting with him. And that is when we were able to collaborate together with the Family Develop Initiative with the same intentions and same purpose, which actually was in line with the objectives that we had together.
Yussuf, you might want to respond to this also, how this partnership came about.
No, well, I mean, obviously being CEO of an organization, one of my jobs is everywhere I go, I try to meet people, speak to people, talk to them about our organization. They also share what they are doing. And so, like Eustace has mentioned, we met. I think they came to the launch of one of our projects on empowering communities for sexual reproductive health, which is being implemented by in partnership with Action Aid. So they came and participated in the launch, and after that they sought an appointment that we should meet and discuss our various works. And so as we were sharing the different things that we do as an organization, you remember when we started this conversation, you asked me what FDI does, and I was able to explain broadly what we do. So similarly, when we met with them, we were sharing broadly what FDI does, and then they also shared broadly what they are doing. And so we were able to identify areas of common interest. And one area of common interest was the issue of how do we foster peace, but foster peace in a broad manner, and not in the narrow understanding of what peace is. And that broad manner included the realization that young people who drop out of school or lose learning hours because of menstrual hygiene are not at peace, because then they have to go back to school, try to catch up, writing notes, copying notes, and then, trying to find out what they missed when they were not around. And we said, look, because we are promoting this activity and you are promoting this activity, why then don't we, collaborate and work together? And like he has mentioned, it's very heartening that that project has actually developed from not just being South Korea and Zambia, as in like HWPL and FDI, but it has extended to Malawi, and now, as we are speaking, it has extended to the Netherlands and also to Belgium. So basically, it's become a project now that is being implemented in South Korea, Zambia, Malawi, Belgium, and Netherlands.
0770-347-221 is the number that you are using for getting in touch with us. 0770-347-221. Now, quickly, I don't know who's going to pick this, but of course, either of you could share their opinions. From your perspective, why is this
Okay, just to share my perspective. Through this campaign, we collect the signatures of support and conduct education and donate activities to provide reusable sanitary pads and promote even the health education and even raise awareness of the importance of inclusive communities. So ultimately, this is not just only a woman's issue. I think it's a community peace issue. So when girls can attend school confidently, communities, I think it will grow stronger together.
Yussuf.
Yeah, I mean, picking up from there, I mean, this world, our communities, our families cannot develop, cannot realize their full potentials if one segment of society is not involved in the development. And in this case, we're speaking about women. Imagine a situation where you've got an empowered man who has gone to school, he's well educated, but then women, are not educated or empowered. Why? Because of menstrual hygiene. They were not able to go to school, they dropped out of school because of the theme. This project therefore becomes important because it guarantees that just like men, women, can have access to education, in a manner that empowers them, in a manner that prepares them, to also participate in the development of their communities. So in short, it's not just, a program, that provides sanitary towels. No, it's actually a program that keeps girls in schools. So when you see the Sign for Her campaign, you have to look at it from the perspective as like Sign for Her equals girls being in school. And that's why at some point, Eustace talked about how we are working with the Ministry of Education to ensure the success of this project.
Eustace, quickly, we also understand that the campaign Sign for Her is being implemented in Lusaka in collaboration with the Lusaka City Council. Could you tell us more about how this partnership with the local councils is working?
Of course. So HWPL and Lusaka City Council are in the process of signing an MOU to formalize our collaborations, and the campaign goes beyond the ministerial health education. It also integrates HWPL peace education, which is tailored to Zambia's context. And as a part of this partnership, selected Lusaka City Council officers will complete a 6-session HWPL peace educator training program. And after receiving their certificates, they will deliver peace and hygiene education to over 180 schools across Lusaka. And actually, this coming weekend, on November 8th, the officers who currently teach health education will receive their peace educator training via Zoom. So once certified, they will be able to teach HWPL's curriculum directly to students in their schools.
And actually, we also understand that this Stand for Her campaign has been extended to other parts of the world in other countries, with the latest one being the Netherlands and Belgium. And of course, let's hear from Ms. Minjiko, who is the HWPL Zambia's branch manager.
To help the girls to Hello, this is Minji from HWPL Zambia. The Sign for Her campaign began in Africa to help the girls to overcome the menstrual poverty. This is the reality where many cannot afford the sanitary pads and they are forced to miss school or also feel ashamed for something completely natural. And now this movement has reached even in Europe. I am currently here in the Netherlands and I'm also traveling to Belgium. I am learning that even this menstrual poverty is not just an Africa issue. This is really happening in other continents as well. So as next week, I will continue to raise awareness about the Sign for Her campaign in Belgium. I am really glad that we were continuing with receiving support from the Znbc. So through this, I've come to feel deeply that really the Ubuntu for peace and we are one. This is the idea that I am because we are. And this concept is not just for Africa, but it's really for the whole world. As Chairman Lee said, working to build a world of peace and leaving as a legacy for the future generation is the humanity's duty altogether. So yeah, my last note is when we stand together with compassion and action, there really is nothing, no problem that humanity cannot solve. So thank you for supporting this journey of peace. Thank you so much.
Radio to the Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation is what you're exactly listening to. The number you're calling us on is 0770-347-221. I have Sheikh Yussuf Ayami and Eustace Bay. And of course, we are looking at the Sign for Her campaign, an initiative aimed at keeping girls in schools, where this initiative has even been rolled out to some countries like Belgium and the Netherlands. Feel free to reach us on the number 0770-347-221 and interact with us on this very, very important topic. The time is 18:51. Just have a few minutes before I can allow my guests to leave. 0770-347-221 gets you talking to us. Alternatively, you can send us a WhatsApp, a voice note, insofar as this conversation is concerned. Sheikh and Eustace, let me start with you quickly. How has this campaign been received by the other stakeholders, especially the recipients of the parts we make these donations to?
Tremendously well. And I think that is why within a short period of time, this project is moving from just being a project that was being implemented between, South Korea and Zambia and Malawi, as in like through HWPL and, family development initiatives, to now extending its, wings to Netherlands and Belgium. Locally, the demand is quite high, and that is why we're very eager to move beyond Solwezi and Kalumbila so that we are able to implement the project in different, parts of the country. I think you heard from Eustace. He was mentioning that very soon we are going to be rolling out this program to about 180 schools in collaboration with Lusaka City Council. So you can see that there's appetite, there's a market for this project because, again, like I said earlier, it's not about sanitary pads, but it's about according the girl child an opportunity to stay in school.
Great. Eustace, quickly, before we wrap up this interview, perhaps you might want to bring us up to speed with some of the upcoming events.
Oh, yes, of course. On November 15th and November 24th, we have a interfaith dialogue and interdenominational dialogue, which is an online forum where religious leaders from different faiths or different denominations can discuss how faith can contribute to the religious harmony as well as social harmony. And last month, we were actually honored to have the National Guidance Religious Affairs Assistant Director, Mr. Godfrey Kauma, to join us. And of course, our beloved Sheikh Yussuf Ayami, who also participated as a representative of Islam. So for the next event, you can check our HWPL Zambia Facebook page to make sure you can also join, even as an audience.
Yussuf, what could be your take-home message for the listener out there insofar as everything we've talked about is concerned?
No, the message for people outside there is that, one, let us think about peace broadly. Sometimes, because we do not live a situation, we might not understand, that problem. So, for example, you might be a man, who doesn't experience the problem of menstrual, hygiene, and so you don't know that actually there are girls outside there that do not go to school because of the same problem. Or you might be a woman, that lives in an affluent, comes from an affluent family where they're able to buy pads for you easily. And so you don't know that there are actually girls outside there that, are poor, of this issue. Actually, there's even a term that we call menstrual poverty. So the take-home message is that no, the world is not like that. There are people that are not living in peace because they are, in poverty over something that is very natural, like Minji said, and very basic and needs to be dealt. The second message is that when we talk about, menstrual hygiene, we need to, think of education and the opportunity that education gives. So when we talk about this free education, for some people, free education might not be real because there are other problems that they are facing. So we need to broaden our scope and understanding and say, when we are talking about availing education to people, it includes also ensuring that they stay in school, and the Sign for Her campaign is one such strategy to allowing girls continue being in school.
Eustace, a word or two before we close?
Okay, so whether through volunteering or sharing your voice or joining peace dialogues, I think every small action matters. Where the saying goes, a chain is only as strong as weakest link. So even the smallest actions can actually matter when it comes to peace. So as I always say, peace begins with me and continues with us. Thank you very much.
Eustace, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
Yussuf, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, Joseph, for inviting and hosting us.
Great. Those are my guests this evening. I was talking to Sheikh Yussuf Ayami, who is a team leader, Family Development Initiative, FDI, and I was talking to Mr. Eustace Bay, a programs coordinator, Department of Religion, HWPL Global 8 branch. And of course, we were looking at the Sign for Her campaign, just so we can appreciate what these two organizations are doing insofar as the keeping of girls in schools is concerned. Coming up at 19 hours is the news summary. Thereafter we have